Hello, Leo. Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead. How you doing, friends? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here, my fire family. We are looking at one oracle deck this week. It's called the Places Oracle, and we're going to get your overall feel for the week next week out of that. It is Sunday as I throw these cards, but of course, as always, whenever you get this reading, it could be today, tomorrow, or next year. It may not resonate with you today because it is a general reading, so it might be in the future for you. But thank you so much for stopping in here. If you are brand new and you've never been here before, welcome. And if you are someone who keeps coming back, I appreciate you. At the end of this video, I am going to talk about how you can find the extended if you're interested, and also about private reading sales. Let's find out what's going on for you. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Leo. Things are kind of falling around here. Tell me about Leo. We've got the park. It says nature's haven, recreational space, picnic retreat. We've got the mountain. It says nature's grandeur. So we've got a bit of a theme here, right? It's time for you to get away. Feels like you need to disconnect, and like you may go into nature, but even if you don't, it's time for you to disconnect, because that's what nature will do. Nature will heal you. And it says here, in order to get your perspective, that you need to get to an elevation. And I think that's, the rising of your vibration, the raising of your vibration, or to get a different perspective, you need to get to a higher point. We do have the lighthouse in order to get the answers you need. So the guiding light, in order to see the guiding light, you might only be able to see the guiding light, Leo, if you get to a different elevation. So you have to raise your vibration, or you have to literally maybe climb a mountain to see things from a different point of view. Maybe you're already like, this could maybe for you isn't literal. Maybe it is metaphorical. Maybe you are in the midst of climbing a mountain. I feel like somebody is, though. It does feel like you are very close to seeing the lighthouse, to seeing that there really is a light in all of the things that you've been going through. We can look at that really closely. You can see that there is waves that are crashing up against the lighthouse here. And there is a light on nonetheless. It says a symbol of hope, a watchful sentinel, and a guiding light. So I feel like, being up at the top of this mountain, you can see somebody is. It feels like you've had a high climb, or a really exhausting climb here, but you're about to get a perspective you've never had before, because you're going to see that there is a guiding light here in the future. It feels like you need to disconnect and get away from whatever you've been dealing with in order to get a different perspective about it. Bottom of the deck, we have the workspace. Look, maybe you need to take a holiday. And I don't mean like maybe it's a staycation. Maybe it's just your backyard around the pool or just in the backyard. It feels like the workspace, it tells me that you need to get away from work. It says productive environment, creative zone, and technology hub. So for some of you, you need to get, somebody here is trying to figure out about what is going on in their future, because the workspace is in the future. It feels like, should I stay at this job? Should I leave this job? I need a better perspective. It feels like you need some sort of light on the subject, and your answer is going to come, but I feel like it comes after you disconnect from whatever's going on here. And it could be that you're spending too much time at work. Maybe you've got too many people in your ear, friends, family, people who think they know what's best for you. I feel like you need to get into nature's haven. And look, maybe for you, it's not completely going out to a cabin and detaching. Maybe it's just a picnic retreat. Maybe you just pack a lunch, find a park, maybe drive an hour outside of your city and sit by yourself. It feels like there's a decision that you want to make here, but it needs to be done at a higher elevation. So you have a perspective, a different perspective. I feel like your answer's coming because the lighthouse is here. I feel like you are going to find your symbol of hope or your guiding light. Tell me more. All right. So we do have the Page of Swords. We have the Five of Swords. I think that's why you're climbing the mountain, is because of the Five of Swords. It feels like you might be a person who bounces your ideas off other people. I know as a single person, at the very beginning of me being single after 21 years of marriage, it was really challenging for me to trust myself, because you always have the second person there. You're always bouncing something off of someone else. And it was really a challenge for me to make that decision by myself. The Five of Swords is about fundamental differences, right? So I'm going to say that I don't necessarily think you're asking the right people about your situation. And I honestly don't think you should be asking anyone at all. It feels like you need to make the decision that's best for you, whether people around you like that decision or not. It almost feels like you're wanting to make a decision, but you need a better perspective. I feel like the perspective that you get is going to help you decide what you're going to take your shot at. We got two people here who are holding bows, and we've got, each of them has two arrows in the quiver, and those are swords, and the two of swords is making a decision. 5 and 6. It feels like you want to move on from something. Yeah, it does feel like maybe you want to leave a job, or maybe you're completely going to change your career path. It feels like an important decision, important enough that you need to get away in order to make that decision. There's your energy, Leo. The 6 of Wands is here. I want to say that, there's a light at the end of this wand, right? And there's a light at the lighthouse. I feel like you are going to come to your decision. It feels like right now you're in a really hard place. The 6 of Wands is about everybody paying attention while you're just sort of crawling out of the depths of a really hard cycle that you've been in. And I think I was saying to you in the last reading that, this is a time in your life where you're sort of gaining momentum. You're now trusting yourself a little more. You're making decisions that are going to be good decisions for your future. And it feels like everybody's watching you while you do it, which is the uncomfortable part. But I feel like you are going to be getting more information. The Page of Swords is always looking for more information. You're going to get more information, more clarity, but I think it's going to take you detaching from the source. I don't mean your source. I don't mean like God, Jesus, whoever your source is, your universe, whatever it is, meditation. I feel like you need to detach from groups of people who are trying to get you to do something that benefits them. Because listen, when you ask for other people's opinions, they don't have the ability to see it from your perception or with your perception. We all have our own perception. There are no two perceptions that are the same. So I feel like people are giving you advice that are not good for you, and you know it. And so I think that you realize that there is a fundamental difference here. I don't believe what you believe, and I'm probably never going to believe what you believe, so I got to go off and do it on my own. Tell me about the Page of Swords, please. Tell me about the Page of Swords for Leo. Feels like you are in school, or you are in this mode of trying to dig up more information on something, try and get more information about something that possibly has to do with your happiness or a new path, or where am I going to be happy? What path am I going to be happy on? We've got the park, which is showing us a path, right? I feel like you are trying to find the happiest emotional path for you. We do have the 6 of Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Wands. It does feel like you have a choice to make. It feels like your choice is between the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. But in the middle of those is the 6 of Pentacles. And that is reciprocal energy. That is people who are giving you as much time, effort, and energy as you are giving them. I feel like there's way too many hands in the pie. There's way too many cooks in the kitchen, is what I'm trying to say. That there are too many people that are offering advice to you. And I think that this is a decision you have to make on your own. So while I feel like you're saying to people who are trying to give you their effort, energy, time, money, advice, I feel like you are trying to make your own decision. It's like you're taking it all in, as Leo would. You're taking it all in, and you're not really giving your perspective to them at this time about what your decision will be. But I think that you're sort of deciding, do I go with what my heart space wants me to do, or do I go with my fire? So it feels like you're trying to make some sort of a decision about what your next step is. And it might have to do with the workplace for some of you. It might have to do with moving your home. But it feels like the zoo is telling me that it's very confusing. The zoo has all types of animals from sometimes all over the world. And so it feels like it's confusing. Are you majestic and slow and literal like the lion? Or are you a little bit scattered like the monkey? You know what I mean? Like it feels like the workspace, it could be between workspace and home, but it feels like your ideas are scattered. You've got so many choices that you don't know what to do. So I feel like you're climbing this mountain to try and get perspective. And this could be literal. Maybe you're a mountain climber. Maybe that's what you do. You climb walls or climb mountains in order to, because, you know, whenever we're engaged in something like that, wall climbing, mountain climbing, it all brings us to our intuition, right? It puts us in a meditative state when you're doing that kind of thing, when you're using your body. It's like when people run long distances, marathons, triathlons, it puts them in a meditative state. And I feel like that's what you're trying to do after getting all of the opinions of everybody else, no matter what they are, a lot of conflicting opinions. I feel like you are now needing to get away, whether that is just in the mind or you literally are getting away into nature to get your own perspective. Hang on. We've got the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, you just need to pull away. You need to pull away because there is something here, a fear that you're facing. And I feel that it is a fear that it feels like it's got you paralyzed or in a pause. You're trying to get some type of perspective to make a really important decision, but you've been holding back on making that decision because you don't want to have to make it alone. We've got the two fives here, the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. And it tells me that right now you're going to take a moment to detach, whether that means you're just going to stay at home and not answer your phone. Maybe you're just going to take a week off of work and be out in the backyard. But it feels like somebody here is holding back or pulling back their energy to get into a pause because I need the perspective, right? That's the Hanged Man, in order to know what I need to sacrifice to make the best decision about me and how I'm going to move forward. So we've got the guiding light, and we've got this light off the end of this wand. It feels like you're probably going to go with the Ace of Wands, I'm going to say, because this person is holding the Ace of Wands. It feels like you're most likely to go with what excites you or gives you fire in the belly. But you're going to make a decision which I feel is very stable, secure. The Four of Swords is stability of the mind, but it's also healing, right? It's healing, making a healing, clear decision, having an epiphany, making the realization that I've got to, there's 5 swords here and 5 swords here, that's 10, that I've got to let go of whatever everyone else expects of me, and I just have to do what I need to do for myself. Because I feel like you're sort of on the tail end of crawling out of this pit that you've been in for a while, and I feel like this is a new you. This is a new you. This Leo energy is like everybody's watching what your next step is going to be. Because I feel like a lot of people are giving you input, but you're not necessarily taking their input, or you're taking it in and not telling them you agree with them, not telling them anything. You're just not saying anything, which is kind of a Leo thing, right? You're just not giving them your output, but you're taking it all in. So I feel like there is a guiding light here for you. I feel like the Six of Wands is telling me that you're coming out of the war, out of the fight, or a hard place, or a dark night of the soul, and you're about to move forward and get some type of victory, but you just have to decide which direction you're taking. Tell me about this guiding light. What are you finding through this guiding light here? Because I feel like you already have the light that's guiding you, to be honest, because of that. We do have the Five of Wands. So it's a little bit of hesitation, or not really knowing what I want at this time. We can see that there are 4 people who have put down their wands. They've claimed their space, but we have one person who's running around in the center with their Ace of Wands, which again is on fire, right? Their Ace of Wands is all lit up. So I feel like you're trying to find your place in the world, your place in your career path. It feels like you're looking for some type of guiding light so you can finally plant your wand and say, yep, this is what I'm going to do next. We've got the Six of Cups. And we've got the Two of Swords in the reverse. Oh, I kind of like it. You will be making a decision by the end of next week. If this is resonating with you, I feel like, okay, wait, let me think about that for a second. Because listen, the 4th, I think it is the 4th of October. that there is a full moon in Aries. And so I feel like you will be wrapping something up or releasing something or making your decision. Something comes full circle around the 4th of October. And this is for the last couple of days of October and moving into the full moon on the 4th of October. So I feel like your lighthouse could be the decision making process around the full moon. I feel like with the 6 of Cups that you're taking everything into consideration here, Leo. I feel like you are looking into the past, what worked for me, what didn't, thinking about my friends, thinking about my family, thinking about what everybody said. And now I'm about to make my own decision. We're going to go into the extended. If you would like to be there, then please follow us there. Please look at the very top of all of the pinned comments. There's one comment at the very top that I pin there. And in that comment shows you how you can purchase this outright if you're looking to just purchase one off, right? You just want to purchase this one only. Or you can come to the membership area. That's where we all are. And I put 4 extended readings for Leo in there every month. But if you're watching for more than one sign, so maybe your sun, moon, and rising, you will get 12 a month, right? And those readings are usually between 10 or 15 minutes long. So also, if you're interested in if you're not interested in the membership area, but you do want a private reading based on anything I've read here, then please look at the Hypsee link. Please go check out my pricing. I do live readings over the phone as well as doing readings that are pre-recorded. All right, let's find out what we're going to be talking about in the extended. I am going to clarify this. We're going to get way more details out of this, and then we're going to talk about what happens next here. We've got the Sun in the reverse. We've got the Hierophant. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So it does feel like here that somebody sees all of the data. I want to say you've taken in all of the information from all of the people in your life, from the workplace, the people, the friends, the family. And I feel like the Sun is here. You see all the data. You know that there's no growth at this time, but you're trying to decide whether to go with your heart space or go with your excitable, fiery energy. I feel like you're going to go on the path which gives you the best opportunity for growth, stability, building a solid foundation. This is also corporation and institutions. So maybe you're just going off on your own and deciding that you're going to make the plans by yourself and maybe build your own business, because we do have the Queen of Pentacles here, who's very resourceful, very organized, right? Capricorn probably has everything planned into 2026 already. It feels like you are making a plan. I'm going to say this is the CEO of the zodiac, right? The Capricorn energy. I feel like you're making a plan, but it's going to be slow and sure. And you are a fixed sign, just like Taurus. Taurus is the Hierophant. I feel like you're committing to a plan that is going to grow, maybe possibly the workspace, right? So you could be maybe leaving your place of work and opening your own business. You're about to make a big, bold move. The Queen of Wands is here. That's your energy in a general reading, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. And so it feels like you are the leader. You are out front. You can do what you want. I don't think that you're scared to fall and skin your knees, because you've just come out of a hellish place, right? You've come out of this really hard cycle, and you're about to make a decision that's going to last for a very long time. It's going to give you a lot of stability, so you're carefully planning about what you're going to do. We'll talk more about that in the extended. Hope to see you there, but if I don't, this is where we part. That's cool, because I'll be back, because I'm always back. Take care of yourself, Leo. I'm going to go for now. I will see you next week. Take care. Have a great Sunday. Bye-bye.